Considering his age and sentence, will this 72-year-old make it out of prison? On June 28th, 2022, Arkansas Internet Crimes Against Children, ICAC, received a report from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, also known as NCMEC. Now, NCMEC was saying that they had received a cyber tip from Yahoo about an incident from May 4th, 2022. The information was that a man named Ernie Easley had sent several emails from himself to other email accounts that had a similar variation of his name. These emails had titles like in the subject line that were named Stacy, Sweet, Cuties, Sweet 2, Sweet 1, Ultra Model, Stacy, Emmy, Nice, Cherish, Bria, Wow, Titties, Sweet, Sweet Girl, and also A Picture for You. Now, there were a total of 198 files uploaded, and according to Yahoo, 26 of those files fell in the A1 category, which identifies it as a prepubescent minor sex act. Through investigation, police were able to determine that the IP address that was used came from an account from Cox Communications. That account was registered to a man named Ernie Easley, who lived on Dallas Street in Gravette, Arkansas. The actual legal name of the person is Ernest Easley. I mean, you could have probably gathered that. So on September 27th, 2022, police were able to obtain a search warrant. They got to work going through these files that were downloaded to see exactly what kind of files they were. Several of the files that are described in the affidavit for arrest detail that they involved children that were anywhere from the age of 6 years old all the way up to 10, but mostly in the 6 to 8 year range. So it wasn't until October 4th, 2022, that a recorded interview was finally done with Ernest Easley. During the interview, Ernest was kind of what I would call cagey. He was visibly shaking. He did not give the password to a cell phone. He didn't give police permission to search any of his devices, although he did give them the password to his computer. He said that he had looked up pornography before and he had seen underage pornography, but that it was by accident. He just happened to see it. And when he would see it, he would watch a video and then click off of it. He said he had seen, stills like pictures and also videos, but it was only like maybe half a dozen times ever. And police told him, hey, a lot of times we don't ask questions that we don't always know the answer to. We ask them to see how honest a person's going to be. And also, like, how would you feel if we told you that there were 198 pictures dating back to 2010 that came back to you? Ernest did say, it could have been more than a half a dozen pictures. It could have been more than six, but he wasn't really sure how many. He said it could have been, like 15, maybe 20 images. No, it was 198. While Ernest first said that he was just looking at the pictures, just like goofing around, he did finally agree that he was looking at them for gratification. That's so disgusting. Police were able to identify two sets of inappropriate photos that were taken of two different children by Ernest himself. Ernest Easley was arrested on October 11th, 2022, and he did admit at that time that he took photos of two children, inappropriate photos, himself. He was much more upfront during that second interview, and he did admit that police would find photos that were of children between the ages of 8 to 12. Now, police did ask him, at what age do you think a child would be too developed for you to get pleasure from, the photographs? And Ernest Easley did state that that age would be around 12 to 13. Also, Ernest Easley did tell police that he would never do anything to a child himself. He would never harm a child. He would just, take pictures of them while they're sleeping. So, like I said, in October 2022, Ernest Easley was arrested. He was charged with 7 counts of distributing, possessing, or viewing CSAM. That wasn't the end of trouble for the now 72-year-old Ernest Easley, though, because in June of 2023, Ernest Easley was slapped with a federal indictment. And there were three counts to this indictment for Ernest Easley. The two counts were for transportation of CSAM, and then there was one count for possession of CSAM. It is alleged in the indictment that Ernest Easley had CSAM on four different devices. Those devices are an iPhone 12, a Dell laptop, a verbatim CDR, and a Microsoft Surface Model 1514. As part of a plea deal that Mr. Easley entered into, he said that he would plead guilty to count two, which was one of the counts of transportation of CSAM, and he agreed to forfeit the four devices that CSAM was located on. Honestly, I don't think it's any loss to him to forfeit these items because with pleading guilty to that one count, it carried a minimum of 5 years in federal prison. Federal prison, you have to serve 85% of your sentence. So he's going to be in there for a while, like that. Even the phone, the computer, there's going to be newer, better things by the time he gets out of prison. Like that, I don't think that that's a big deal. For that one count, Ernest Easley was sentenced to 168 months in federal prison and 15 years of supervised release. So honestly, that is 14 years in prison. He would have to serve just under 12 years. By the time he gets out of prison, he's 72 now. He'll be like 84 at that point. I mean, I'm not like happy with the 14-year sentence, but in reality, 84 years old, he will be fortunate if he makes it to that just because that's older than the average age span of the United States. Then 15 years of supervised release on top of that, that is the entirety of his lifespan. According to Case Connect, it looks like he does still have the pending charges in state court. He had a hearing on January 11th. It hasn't updated since that time.